We'll start our presentation today on gender inequality. We're going to go ahead and start with our first slide. Gender inequality has different types of studies which shows that the different types of life experience of the people related to the genders across different kinds of countries and different types of domains, including the educational interest, personal life, careers, and political affiliations, are related with the gender inequality and the differences in genders that are being seen in today's day. Gender inequality is such a factor that is experienced in different types of countries and also across different types of cultures. And people who do not accept themselves into different kinds of gender and who are non-binary are also affected by these types of norms that exist. Gender inequality is such a factor that it is seen to have started in the childhood of every boy and girl. According to the different types of studies, it can be seen that all boys and girls deserve an equal chance to survive and grow and have an opportunity to thrive. We'll continue with the next slide. Understanding the concept of gender inequality. To understand the concept of gender discrimination, it has to be understood that there are different types of factors working together, which starts in childhood. It continues to rob all the children of their childhood and limits their chances of an opportunity because of the disproportionately effect given to all the genders. By looking forward to the evaluation of gender inequality, it can be understood that there are billions of children worldwide, especially girls, who are not getting equal opportunity in their lives because of discrimination held together. Gender discrimination is prohibited under different types of human rights treaty, and it is also against the law. But its particular aspect includes certain types of international laws that provides that equal gender right between all men and women, and also all types of gender should be dictated by realizing the rights of all the people, especially the woman. All right, continuing to our third slide. Understanding the concept of gender inequality. Gender inequality is a factor that is basically based on the violation psychological manner. Society and different types of people have taken forward the biological and psychological manner to focus on the differences based on atomic factors. Natural differences exist because of the biological and anatomic factors, especially because of their reproductive roles. That is why there are certain types of natural differences in their relative physical strength on different sets of gender, and differences in the chromosomes and hormonal changes. Due to the biological factor, there are differences that have been evaluated between the genders, and that has also been socialized and have certain discriminations and dominative characters. The psychological factor, which is related to influencing the extent of typical masculinity or femininity traits, is also having negligible differences between their existence in intellect and significance in understanding the sociological emotions. It is a problem of the society that from birth the female and the male genders are socialized in a different manner, and all the experiences are all gathered with different types of environments throughout their lives, and it is also influenced by the surrounding and especially the society. Going on to our next slide, understanding the concepts of gender inequality. The psychological manner also focused on the influencing characteristics such as the gender role expectations and the gender role stereotypes, where the society picks certain characteristics for a male, whereas different and soft characteristics for female, which is wrong in different levels. One of the greatest effects of gender inequality that has been seen is that too many girls come from different types of background, and having different expectations from society are getting discriminated against daily. One of the greatest effects of gender inequality that has been noted throughout the world is gender inequality in girls' education. And even before the pandemic, the girls were more likely to have a certain less encouragement in education that has been seen across different aspects of the world. There is also child marriage and gender violence that has been predominant in the gender inequality that has been seen. It is also important to consider gender inequality to have a negative effect on society and all the people who are living in it. Continuing to our next slide. Causes of gender inequality. There are different types of causes of gender inequality which has been seen all over the world. However, it is a great thing that the world is coming closer to achieving gender equality. However, still, there are different types of cultures and countries which are not giving much importance to this. And that is why there are different types of causes that will be evaluated in the particular scenario for looking forward to gender inequality. One of the most important issues that have been seen for gender inequality is uneven access to education, because around the world, 1/4 of a young woman who are aged between 15 years old to 24 years old have last finished their primary school, and more than 58% of the women across the world have not completed their basic education. And that is why gender inequality is being seen, because girls are not getting the proper opportunities to be educated the same levels as boys. That gives her huge effect on their future of the girls, and also different types of opportunities that they are missing on. Continue to the next slide. Causes of gender inequality. The next cause for gender inequality that has been seen in a wide manner is the lack of employability equality. And this is another reason, though, through which proper economic stability is not being achieved in different types of country, because it has been seen that only 6 countries across the whole world have reached for gender equality and gender diversity, where women are given the same opportunity as men, and they are also doing the same legal work as men. Causes of gender inequality. After that, next aspect that will be evaluated in the scenario is a job education, and it is also considered one of the most important applications for gender inequality. And this causes employment in different types of divisions in jobs and in different types of ideas that can be seen that there is an inherited belief that men are better equipped to handle different types of jobs, and that is one of the great causes of inequality. Job segregation is considered as the discrimination that focuses on lower a couple of the women, and also women are taking primary responsibility of the labor which is unpaid, and also participating in different types of unrecognized facilities. And that is why people are not evaluating proper opportunities. After that, the cause that is seen all around the world, and especially in the developing countries and undeveloped countries, is the lack of legal protection. According to different types of statistics and research, it can be seen that over 1 billion women are not having the legal protection aids. Different types of genders. Violence is a different type of economic violence, and both have certain significant impacts on the ability of the mental tribe in society and live in freedom, because they are different types of countries who are lacking the legal protection for them. Preventing of gender inequality. There are different ways through which gender inequality can be reduced, and reducing gender inequality is extremely important position that has to be taken worldwide. One of the greatest acts of preventing that can be done to achieve gender inequality throughout the world. One of the greatest acts of preventing that can be done to achieve gender equality throughout the world and reduce gender inequality is giving all rights, is giving all girls access to education, with better respect to education. It can be seen that there are more than 130 million girls in the void for not going to school, and if they are getting an education, then they will also get different types of opportunities, of which is extremely valuable resources can also be seen. The next way of preventing gender inequality is giving all women platforms through which social and economic success can be achieved. Globally, all women have certainly less political representation than men around the world. 62% of the countries have not experienced a political head as a female of government or the state, which has to be changed. A number of increases in political positions for women also has to be evaluated in a proper manner. Gender inequality can be reduced, and gender equality is different. And gender equality in different countries can be achieved by looking forward to the political position and how the woman can achieve different political positions by accessing power and looking forward to educational and economic success. It can easily be seen that if all the women who are not getting the opportunity to get proper education opportunity, then they will do better jobs. As a result, proper implementation of economic success will be seen because the government will get better taxes, and that can help the private and public organizations or a particular country. Another way gender inequality can be reduced and gender equality can be achieved by ending violence and gender assault against entire women. In many countries throughout the world, more than 100 women across the countries are getting abused, physically and mentally. That is why it is a great reason which the violation of human rights is being done against women. The next way of preventing different types of gender inequality is giving the girls and women proper access to mental health facilities as well as menstrual health facilities, because menstrual hygiene is extremely necessary for all women and all girls. The next prevention of gender inequality will be ending child marriage. There are various kinds of routes through which gender orientation disparity can be diminished, and decreasing gender imbalance is a critical position that must be taken in an overall way. One of the best demonstrations of anticipation that should be possible for accomplishing gender equality all through the world and decreasing gender orientation disparity is giving everyone of the young woman admittance to training. With better regard to instructions, it tends to be seen that there are more than 130 million young girls in the void for not going to class and assuming they are getting schooling. They will likewise get various sorts of chances, which amazingly important assets can likewise be seen. The following method of forestalling gender disparity gives all women stages through which social and monetary achievements can be accomplished. Worldwide, all women have absolutely less political portrayal than men. All throughout the planet, 62% of the nations have not experienced political head as a female of the public authority of the state and must be changed. Gender orientation imbalance is such a variable that is knowledgeable about various kinds of nations and furthermore across various sorts of society. Individuals who don't acknowledge themselves in various sorts of gender and who are non-paired are likewise impacted by this kind of standard which exists. Gender disparity is such a variable that supposedly has become in the adolescence of each kid and young woman. As per various sort of studies, it very well may be seen that all the young men and young women merit an equivalent opportunity to endure the furthermore to develop and have freedoms to flourish. The parts of gender orientation imbalance are critical to consider because with more prominent measures of gender disparity, there are various kinds of issues and negative elements connect together. For the most part, gender disparity centers around their desperation, which depends on gender or gender orientation, through which routine advantage perspectives meet up and one gender is focused on over another. Separation for gender orientation is worded in various sorts of regions across the world, since gender fairness is considered as the major common liberty, and that right is abused by the segregation which is found in sex. There are various kinds of realities too, which are polished in day by day, which assess various sorts of gender roles and gender segregation inside individuals. There are various kinds of variables that are connected together. In this specific exploration paper, gender orientation disparity will be perceived just as various sorts of causes connected with the gender imbalance will likewise be assessed. The impact of gender orientation imbalance will be seen as the aspect through which anticipation of gender disparity is conceivable will be talked about. And this follows my references, and this wraps up our presentation.